Have you ever felt that someone smiles at you, talks nicely with you, but somehow you still feel uncomfortable around them? Maybe they clap for your success, but their face says something different. Maybe they say, "I'm happy for you," but deep inside, you feel something is off. The truth is, not everyone who acts like a friend truly wants to see you succeed. Some people secretly compare themselves to you. They may not hate you, but they don't like seeing you move ahead. This feeling is called jealousy. The strange thing about jealousy is that people rarely admit it. Instead, it shows up through small behaviors, hidden comments, and confusing actions. Many jealous people try to hide their feelings because they don't want others to know how they really feel. But no matter how hard they try, their behavior often reveals the truth. Understanding these signs can protect your peace. It can help you choose the right friends, avoid unnecessary drama, and stop blaming yourself when someone's behavior suddenly changes. In today's video, we'll explore 8 clear signs someone is secretly jealous of you. Some of these signs may surprise you because they often look harmless at first. As you watch, think about the people in your own life. You may recognize someone you've never understood before. Let's begin with the first sign. Sign 1. They rarely celebrate your success. One of the clearest signs of secret jealousy is when someone struggles to celebrate your achievements. Imagine you finally get promoted at work. You're excited, and you tell your friend the good news. Instead of smiling or congratulating you with excitement, they simply say, "Oh, that's nice." That's it. No excitement, no happiness, no real support. When people genuinely care about you, your success makes them happy. They cheer for you because they want the best for you. But jealous people often feel something different. Your success reminds them of what they don't have. Instead of feeling inspired, they feel uncomfortable. Sometimes they'll quickly change the subject. Sometimes they'll ignore your achievement completely. Sometimes they'll act like your success isn't a big deal. You might hear comments like, "Anyone could have done that. You just got lucky. It's really not that difficult." Notice how these words reduce your achievement. They don't openly insult you. Instead, they quietly make your success seem smaller than it really is. Jealous people often believe that if they admit your success is impressive, it somehow makes them look less successful. That's why they avoid giving genuine compliments. Another common behavior is silence. You post exciting news online. Everyone congratulates you, but one particular person says nothing. Days later, they still ignore it. This silence often speaks louder than words. Of course, everyone gets busy sometimes. Missing one achievement doesn't automatically mean jealousy. But when someone repeatedly ignores your wins while expecting everyone to celebrate theirs, it's worth noticing. Healthy relationships include mutual support. Real friends clap the loudest when you succeed. Jealous people often struggle to do the same. Sign 2. They constantly compare themselves to you. Comparison is one of the strongest fuels of jealousy. A jealous person often measures their life against yours. Instead of focusing on improving themselves, they constantly watch what you're doing. If you buy a new phone, suddenly they need a better one. If you start exercising, they suddenly become interested in fitness. If you receive praise, they immediately begin talking about their own achievements. Everything becomes a competition. Even simple conversations can turn into comparison. You say, "I've been learning a new skill." They quickly respond, "I already know several skills." You mention your vacation. They immediately describe a bigger or more expensive trip. It's as if they always need to prove they're doing better. Healthy people compare themselves to who they were yesterday. Jealous people compare themselves to everyone around them. Social media has made this even more common. Some people quietly monitor every post you make. They notice every achievement, every new purchase, every success. But instead of feeling happy for you, they begin comparing their own lives. Comparison creates pressure. Pressure creates insecurity. Insecurity often turns into jealousy. The problem is that comparison is never fair. People compare someone else's best moments with their own everyday life. They forget that everyone has struggles they don't see. Confident people don't need to compete. They admire others while continuing their own journey. Jealous people, however, feel like someone else's success automatically means their own failure. But life doesn't work that way. Someone else's light doesn't make yours shine less. Sign 3. They give fake compliments. Not every compliment is genuine. Sometimes compliments hide criticism. This is called a backhanded compliment. It sounds positive on the surface, but underneath it carries negativity. For example, "You look great today. I barely recognized you. I'm surprised you actually did such a good job. You're lucky people like your work. You've improved a lot." At first, these comments seem kind, but after thinking about them, they don't feel good anymore. That's because the compliment comes with an insult. Jealous people often use fake compliments to protect themselves. They don't want to openly criticize you, but they also don't want you feeling too confident. So they mix praise with negativity. Another example happens after success. You earn an award. Instead of saying, "You worked really hard," they say, "You're so lucky." Luck becomes their explanation for your achievement. Hard work disappears from the conversation. This helps them avoid admitting your success came from effort. Sometimes jealous people compliment things that don't matter while ignoring your real accomplishments. They'll notice your shoes, your haircut, your watch, but they'll ignore your promotion, business growth, or personal achievement. Real compliments feel warm. They leave you smiling. Fake compliments often leave you confused. Trust how you feel after someone speaks. Your instincts notice more than you realize. Sign 4. They copy everything you do. Have you ever noticed someone who suddenly starts doing everything you do? At first, it may feel like a coincidence. You buy a new style of clothes. A week later, they dress almost the same. You start going to the gym. Soon, they join the same gym. You learn a new skill. They suddenly decide to learn it too. Now, copying someone is not always a bad thing. People naturally learn from others they admire. We all get ideas from friends, family, or successful people. But jealousy looks different. A jealous person doesn't copy because they admire you. They copy because they feel threatened by you. Instead of building their own identity, they try to match yours. They believe that if they do what you do, they will receive the same attention. Over time, this can become very noticeable. You change your hairstyle. They change theirs. You buy a new phone. A few days later, they suddenly have the same one, or an even newer model. You post about a hobby. Soon they act like they've always loved that hobby too. Sometimes they even copy your words, your jokes, or your opinions. It can feel strange because it seems like they are trying to become your competition. The biggest difference between admiration and jealousy is respect. Someone who admires you says, "I love what you're doing. You inspired me." Someone who is jealous usually stays quiet. They pretend the idea was always theirs. Another sign is that they become upset if people notice the copying. If someone says, "That looks just like what Sarah does," the jealous person quickly changes the subject or becomes defensive. Why? Because they don't want others to realize they are comparing themselves to you. People who are confident don't need to copy every move. They create their own path. Jealous people often lose themselves because they spend too much time trying to become someone else. The lesson is simple. Inspiration is healthy. Imitation driven by insecurity is not. Stay focused on your own growth instead of worrying about who is copying you. Eventually, people always recognize originality. Sign 5. They talk about you behind your back. This is one of the most painful signs of hidden jealousy. A jealous person may smile in front of you, but once you leave the room, the conversation changes. They begin criticizing you. They question your success. They spread rumors. Or they tell people things that make you look bad. Why would someone do this? Because damaging your reputation makes them feel better about themselves. If they cannot rise to your level, they try to pull you down. This behavior often starts with small comments. Someone might say, "I heard she got lucky. I don't think he's really that talented. There's probably more to the story." Notice how they plant doubt. They don't always make direct accusations. Instead, they leave people wondering if your success is real. Sometimes they even share your private information. Things you trusted them with suddenly become public. This is another warning sign. A true friend protects your name when you're not around. A jealous person often attacks your name when you're absent. Ironically, many jealous people talk about you far more than your real supporters do. You stay on their mind because they constantly compare themselves with you. Their conversations often reveal their own insecurity more than anything about you. One important thing to remember is this: people who gossip about others will usually gossip about you too. If someone constantly brings negative stories about different people, don't be surprised if your name becomes the next topic. Protect your personal life. Not everyone deserves to know your plans. Sometimes silence is your greatest protection. Success doesn't need an announcement. Let your results speak louder than your words. And if someone spreads rumors about you, don't waste your energy trying to convince everyone. Your character will always outlast gossip. Sign 6. They are happy when you fail. This is perhaps one of the strongest signs of secret jealousy. Everyone experiences failure. We all make mistakes. We all have difficult days. Real friends support you during those moments. They encourage you. They help you recover. They remind you that one mistake doesn't define your future. A jealous person reacts very differently. They may pretend to comfort you, but deep inside, they feel relieved. Sometimes they even seem happier than usual. Imagine you don't get the job you wanted. Instead of saying, "Don't worry, another opportunity will come," they say, "I knew it wasn't going to work," or "Maybe it wasn't meant for you." Instead of giving hope, they focus on disappointment. Another example happens when your business struggles. Rather than asking how they can help, they become strangely interested in every problem. They ask many questions, not because they care, but because your failure makes them feel better about their own life. Some jealous people even remind others about your mistakes long after everyone else has forgotten. Months later they still say, "Remember when that happened?" Why keep bringing it up? Because your failure gives them temporary confidence. This doesn't mean they are evil. It simply shows they are fighting their own insecurities in unhealthy ways. Confident people understand that everyone's journey has ups and downs. They don't celebrate someone else's pain. They understand that today's success can become tomorrow's struggle, and today's struggle can become tomorrow's success. One of the greatest signs of emotional maturity is celebrating others during good times and supporting them during hard times. If someone disappears when you're successful but suddenly becomes very interested when you're struggling, pay attention. Their actions may reveal feelings they never speak aloud. Remember this: the people who clap when you rise and stand beside you when you fall are the people worth keeping in your life. Sign 7. They constantly criticize you. Constructive criticism is helpful. It comes from people who genuinely care about your growth. They point out mistakes respectfully and often offer advice on how to improve. Jealous criticism is different. It isn't meant to help you. It's meant to make you doubt yourself. Have you ever shared an exciting idea with someone, only for them to immediately point out everything that could go wrong? You say, "I'm thinking about starting my own business." They reply, "Most businesses fail." You say, "I'm learning a new skill." They answer, "That skill is too difficult." You say, "I've been working out every day." They respond, "It probably won't last." Notice the pattern. Instead of encouraging you, they focus only on the negatives. No matter what you do, they always seem to find something wrong. If you wear nice clothes, they say you're trying too hard. If you dress simply, they say you don't care about your appearance. If you stay quiet, you're too shy. If you speak confidently, you're showing off. It feels impossible to please them. That's because the problem isn't you. The problem is how they see you. Jealous people often criticize because they hope you'll stop believing in yourself. Confidence makes them uncomfortable. If they can make you question your abilities, they feel less threatened. Sometimes their criticism is hidden behind jokes. They laugh after saying something hurtful. Then they say, "I'm just kidding." But if a joke leaves you feeling embarrassed every time, it isn't really a joke. Another common habit is pointing out your smallest mistakes while ignoring your biggest achievements. You work hard for months on a project. You succeed. Instead of saying, "Great job," they say, "There was one small mistake." Nobody is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, but people who truly support you don't make your weaknesses the center of every conversation. Healthy relationships include honesty and kindness together. You can tell someone the truth without making them feel small. The next time someone constantly criticizes you, ask yourself one question. Are they helping me grow? Or are they trying to make me feel less confident? The answer will often tell you everything you need to know. Sign 8. They become distant when you succeed. One of the quietest signs of jealousy is distance. You may notice that someone slowly disappears from your life right after something good happens to you. At first, everything seems normal. You talk often. You spend time together. You support each other. Then something changes. You get promoted. You graduate. Your business grows. Your social media starts doing well. Or you achieve a personal goal you've worked hard for. Instead of celebrating with you, they slowly pull away. They stop calling. They stop replying to messages. They stop inviting you to events. When you meet them, the conversations feel cold and uncomfortable. Why does this happen? Because your success reminds them of what they haven't achieved. Rather than dealing with those feelings, they create distance. Being around you becomes uncomfortable because your progress reflects the goals they haven't reached. Sometimes they even avoid talking about your success completely. It's almost like it never happened. This doesn't mean every distant friend is jealous. People become busy. Life changes. Responsibilities increase. But when someone becomes distant only after you start succeeding, it's worth paying attention to the timing. True friends don't disappear when your life improves. They become even more excited for you. They ask questions. They celebrate your victories. They encourage you to keep going. Real friendship isn't based on competition. It's based on support. The best people in your life will never make you feel guilty for growing. They'll remind you that your success doesn't take anything away from theirs. Remember this powerful truth. The right people won't leave because you're becoming better. They'll stay because they're proud of the person you're becoming. Jealousy is a normal human emotion. Almost everyone feels it at some point. The difference is how people handle it. Emotionally mature people use jealousy as motivation. They think, if they can do it, maybe I can too. But insecure people allow jealousy to control their behavior. They criticize. They compare. They gossip. They copy. They celebrate your failures. And they struggle to celebrate your success. The important thing is not to become angry or seek revenge. Responding with negativity only creates more negativity. Instead, focus on protecting your peace. Choose friends who genuinely support you. Spend time with people who celebrate your victories without feeling threatened. And most importantly, never let someone else's jealousy stop you from chasing your dreams. You are not responsible for making other people comfortable with your success. Your responsibility is to keep growing, keep learning, and keep becoming the best version of yourself. Not everyone will clap for you. That's okay. Keep moving forward anyway, because the people who truly matter will never be afraid to see you shine. Strong call to action. If you recognized one or more of these signs, don't panic and don't jump to conclusions. Instead, observe people's actions over time. Consistent behavior tells you much more than one single moment. Now we'd love to hear from you. Which sign have you experienced the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more easy-to-understand videos about psychology, body language, relationships, and personal growth. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next video. Thanks for watching, stay positive, protect your peace, and we'll see you in the next video.